Welcome to the Brightside with Art and Isabella, presented by Coffee Crossing. A look into what lights the lives of lovely locals, the coffee keeping us calm and collected, and the communities that make our days that much brighter. I'm Art.
And I'm Isabella. Today we'll be continuing our series on some of our most loyal customers and their lives in and out of the coffee shop. We're joined today by one of the kindest regular customers we've grown to know and love, Keri Cochran. Keri has the most bright and shining personality, and her smiling positivity has made her one of our favorite frequent faces that pass through the Charlestown Road location.
Whether she's catching us up on the busyness of her daily life, passing through the drive-thru with her beautiful golden retrievers, or just hanging out with her family, Keri has shared so much of her world with us behind the bar. Now we get a chance to step behind the mic and share some of that joy with all of you guys. Keri, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, guys. I'm getting teary-eyed. That was really sweet. I'm glad you guys think that I'm positive and nice.
That's my goal with writing these intros. I want to. If I can get one tear out of somebody, that'd be good.
I'm telling you, the waterworks are starting.
Yeah, but no, we mean it. Like you are one of our favorite people over at the Charlestown Road location. It was a no-brainer to me when we were trying to pick guests from the different locations on who we should have on, because people get genuinely excited when you come in.
No, people, I feel like we haven't really, chatted a lot or anything, but, everyone I've talked to is like, oh, Keri is the best. Everyone, loves you so much.
That's good. I don't know. I love that. I try to be that because I genuinely appreciate when other people are like that, for me, just kind and greet me with a smile. So it's a little thing to pass on.
I almost feel like it seems to me that the feeling is mutual. I feel like when you come through, you are just as happy to see the baristas working behind the bar as we are to see you. And you do such a good, I'm serious, you do such a good job of letting us know what's going on in your life. And it's really fun and exciting. It's almost like keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing, So that's fun.
Yes.
So I am always very excited to see you, but I'm also always excited to see your little one, who's currently sitting right outside of the podcast room right now.
She's playing games. She's being good. She's being a kid MVP right now.
Could you tell us about your little monster over there?
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's my younger. I have two sweet girls. My older is my beautiful stepdaughter, Leah. And Leah is your classic, shy, reserved, oldest, people pleaser, makes parenting easy. She just you're jump, and she's how high? She's you're do this, and she's okay, yes, ma'am.
Is she looking for a job?
Yeah. Wait, how old is she?
Hey, she's 12. A few more years. Eiley is I completely she's also very well behaved. And she's just very kind, and she's very joyful, but she's a lot more outgoing. She's my outgoing personality, and I think this is funny because this is what everybody at Coffee Crossing doesn't get to see. She's also my stubborn and defiant one, and you could be don't touch that, and she walks right up and puts her finger right there, what are you gonna do about it? Oh my gosh. And so it's funny because it's just my personalities for the girls are so different, because my oldest is just so reserved, and sometimes it's just drawing her and bringing her out and helping her to kind of find a voice. And then Eiley's this sassy, spunky, joyful, talk about anything, and she doesn't know a single stranger. She always has this huge smile on her face, but then sometimes it's reining that into a level that's appropriate. Yeah. Or she's also just more this is me, I'm gonna do what I want to do, this is what and that has so many positives. But in terms her newest thing is she does not think that it's dangerous to cross the street by herself. And so her newest thing is, Mommy, it's okay. I'm just going to wave my hand high so the cars will know I'm there. And if anybody
hit me,
she was the other day, and she just decided to bolt it across the street, and a truck almost backed into her because the truck was pulling out and didn't see her. My 6-year-old is also the size of a 4-year-old. She's very petite, so yes. She wears toddler clothes, but she just has this level of this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. And like no grasp or concept of like caution, consequence. And it's just like, watch me do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's going to take the world by storm one day, but
well, you know, it might be a little bit strange to say this, but it's shocking to me how much of just a little adult that she really is. It's so funny. She's a like very confident woman in a very tiny body.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like as a naturally introverted person, I see some of the things that she does. And I'm like, man, I got to take a note. Or I got to take a page out of this kid's
like
notebook.
her.
It's like, how do I do this? This is insane. Being a parent, one is just one of the scariest things that I could ever think of. And kudos to you for knocking it out the park as well as you are doing. But
thank you.
Just as a broad question, like how do you tackle the difficulty of being a parent to two very, very different people? Is it like a pulling from both ends of the spectrum, or do you try to find the middle ground on both?
I think what I had to establish very early on, and I think in part it's because I'm also in a blended family. So with my older, I am a stepmom. And what I really wanted to foster and facilitate was an environment to which my expectation of both of the girls and my level of love and affection for them was the same. And even though the difference, you know, like my stepdaughter has an amazing mother, I'm co-parenting with another really wonderful woman. And so being very respectful of that boundary, but like, this is my house. These are my rules. This is the way that I parent, and I'm going to level with my children the same, because I want them to know that while there's differences in our relationship, that the level of love that I have for them is the same. The level of support that I'm going to give them throughout their life is the same, and that they have the same safety in being able to come to me with their, you know, joys or their problems or their issues.
We actually have Eiley sneaking her way into the podcast room right now.
Yeah. She just wanted to say hi.
I did say to Art, I was like, maybe we should have her child on. Like, wouldn't that be fun?
I'm telling you, she probably would. I mean, she's probably going to take this podcast by storm one day.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day that we have Eiley on. And
hey, she can take my spot, honestly. She'd do better.
She can take my spot. She can take both of our spots. It's the Brightside with Eiley.
Her little unicorn out there replaced me and Art, just questioning her mother.
My gosh.
I would listen to that podcast all day. That would be so nice. The thing that is so shocking to me about Eiley is she's very like unrestricted in what she thinks is okay, and it's like you said, you know, sometimes you have to rein that back in. But one of my absolute favorite memories of that sweet little girl is I was working one morning and made her I think it was like a hot chocolate or something like that, and then I'd ended my shift and I went to go sit down and write for a little bit, and I had my headphones in and just kind of off in my own little world, and I get a little tap on my knee and I look up and she's standing there with a small little flower, and she hands it to me. She's like, "Thank you for the hot chocolate." And I almost cried because I was like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Which is so awesome because, like, I feel like I can remember so many times when I was, like, working and I had, like, a bad customer, or I was just, like, not in a good mood that day, and then someone would come in and they'd just be, like, so nice and genuine, and I'd be like, hey, this is not so bad. Like, life isn't so bad. Like, people are nice. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes, like, the positive interactions you have with somebody, like you're saying, when you're in a terrible mood and somebody comes through and, like, they don't let your terrible mood affect them, like, that bounces right back to you, and that can be the momentum shift that turns your day from, like, okay, how do I make this the least bad day that I can, into like, okay, I'm feeling good now. Let me carry this even further. Whose day can I brighten? And that's one of the big things that I love working for this company for, being able to see so many positive faces such as yourself come through. You know, because 9 times out of 10, I walk into the store and I'm in a pretty good mood. And being able to see customers that are going to elevate that every single day is just a gift that I couldn't ask for. So
to be able to work in an environment where more often than not you have a hand in shaping the positivity of that environment, or you do have those wonderful people that you get to interact with daily that help to set that tone for you, is like so much better, because then it's not just something you're doing because you have to have money. Then it's something like that you feel like you can invest in, and that you've invested not just your time but like a little like piece of like who you are.
when you're doing something that pays the bills and you enjoy what you're doing and you see the difference that it's making in other people's lives. That's what makes you get out of bed when you don't want to and not let it ruin your day.
Absolutely.
And not to segue from ruining your day back to coffee crossing, but I want to segue this to what are some of the best experiences that you've had?
Oh my goodness. I mean, there's really honestly too many to count. So many. And even just on a personal, even talking about Eiley growing up, we've just had an opportunity to get really close to Olivia, who's now moved on to great things at the Sellersburg store. But Olivia was always just such a sweet, kind, just bubbly, bright. And I just really connected very beautifully with her. And I was in a childcare crunch. I had a total mom moment. I didn't secure spring break childcare for my kid in enough time, and childcare was full, and this mom still had to work. And I reached out to Olivia and I was like, I have no clue your schedule, but would you be willing to babysit? And she had a few days of that week that she could. And Eiley calls her Miss Malivia. Eiley loves Miss Malivia, and it was just such natural continuation of such a sweet friendship that started completely between a customer and a barista. But Olivia is a welcomed part of our home. She has invested in our child's life in such a sweet, pure way. There's just so many little instances like that. And last week, I'm in the middle of this massive home renovation. And I swear that every time I come into the Charlestown Road store, these past 2-3 weeks, I've been at a new level of frazzled and stressed for me. Really? The past few weeks have been really hard. And I really feel like I haven't been my best self just because I've been so pulled in so many different directions, and work is at an all-time crazy, and then personal life, and then you add a kid, and then you add the chaos of apparently my husband and I were crazy and we decided to add a puppy to the mix. And it's all of these things are and so the past few times I've really been frazzled. And so I went through the drive-through. And, I don't want to ever be presumptuous or have a big head and just because I come in all the time, think that you guys recognize my voice or know who I am through the drive-through. So, I just ordered, totally incognito. And I got up to the window and it was Eric, and he was like, hey, I thought that was you. Today's coffee's on me. And it was everything that I needed that I didn't know that I needed in that day. It was such this blessing that was totally unexpected because I had this crazy rough morning with the puppy, being totally hyper, and I was struggling to get Eiley to childcare on time so that I could get to work on time. And I was just so frazzled, hence why I was going through the drive-through, because anytime I can come in, I prefer that. But it was just that extension of love through the drive-through, expect that you guys would know me in that context, or I guess it was just the revelation
yeah.
So there's just so many things. It's really hard to pinpoint those things, but well,
the real purpose of this podcast is to find out who has been giving away the free cold brews lately. So we got what we needed. Let's pack it up. Eric, we're coming after you.
I'm sorry.
No.
It wasn't him.
Yeah, it was
it was art.
It was art. Art did it.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
I'm Eiley and I like coffee crossing.
Well, you just like coffee crossing?
Or do you love it? I love it.
You're the best, Eiley.
You love it.
And we're back. I had to take a quick little coffee break. I apologize. But we have a special little challenge here for you today, Carrie.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Isabella, how would you describe what we're going to be doing here?
So what we've done is we've recorded some noises. We're going to play a sound, and then you're going to have to tell us what the sound is of.
Okay.
And you can use your wildest imagination.
You're going to need to use your wildest imagination.
Yes.
I have been forewarned. Okay.
All right. I think if you want to go ahead with the first one.
All right.
Okay. Oh, okay. Is that like a stapler? Like, is that okay?
That's a really good guess because when I first heard it, I thought it was a stapler.
It does kind of sound like it.
Okay. A pin clicky?
Yes.
Yeah,
that is
actually,
a
wow, good job. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, not bad. Office. That was very office sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of these were recorded in Coffee Crossing.
Yeah,
So.
specifically the
Ooh.
Ivy location or the Sellersburg location.
Yes.
Sellersburg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the next one.
Okay. That almost sounded like a toilet flushing.
Really?
Really? No, not quite. No, that's a good guess.
Okay, never mind.
No, that's if I'm not mistaken, that was the we had like a paper cutter, and
It's like, it sounded kind of like a guillotine.
Guillotine, flushing people's head down the toilet. Very
Exactly.
similar.
Yeah, I think
Very
that's how they
similar.
used to do it. Is they would use
Exactly.
toilets.
Oh, yeah. All right.
That sounds like somebody who is like, they're a wild cat. Is that somebody being a wild cat?
Yes, no, that's actually right.
Yes. I'm an expert on animal noises because my children insist on making them 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
You should have thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, we were recording these. She showed me that clip, and like I just started dying laughing. So like, is that you making a hissing noise? It's like, yeah. How'd you know? All right. Which one's next?
Okay.
Is that like the drive-through window coming open?
Ooh, that's a good.
That's an interesting
Good
guess.
guess.
Yeah. No. That one. I don't remember. What was that one?
That is nails on a metal basket.
Oh.
Yeah, very specific.
With how many nails we have worked with during this home renovation, I'm shocked. My husband would be
Oh
disappointed
no,
I did
these
not
are
get this.
human nails.
Human nails.
Yeah.
Fingernails is probably a better way to say human nails.
We have not used human fingernails during
Yeah.
our home renovation. Just a sidebar.
Disclaimer.
No fingernails were removed in the making of this podcast.
Yes, precisely.
Okay. All right. This one's a good one.
Okay. It kind of sounds like the remnants of like old dial-up, like the. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, not quite.
We actually don't have dial-up at Coffee Crossing.
Yeah,
like,
we've
contrary
upgraded.
to popular belief.
I think we use Wi-Fi exclusively. Now, so. Yeah, no, that's actually just a weird bird chirping that
It's
I can
art.
do. Yeah,
It's
so
art
that was
chirping.
me.
Oh, I thought you were like,
Ooh.
Yeah.
that's a bird, a weird
No,
bird
that
chirping.
yeah, it's me imitating a
He's
chirping
the
bird.
weird bird.
Perfect.
Yes. All right. What do we have next?
Okay, this is the very last one.
Okay.
Oh, I know what this
Arguably the best one,
was. Arguably.
but very
Arguably.
difficult.
Oh, okay. Come on, Carrie. Oh gosh.
I'm going to spoil this and say that there's no way you're going to get this correct at all.
Okay. It sounds like, when like baristas like typically at like an alcohol bar or making a fancy drink and they have like the 2 shaker cups and they're like doing like the whole
Yeah.
like shake thing where they're being like real fancy and it's like real showman. That's kind of what it sounds
This
like.
is liquid being.
That's
kind
a
of
way more
shaken.
glamorous version of what the reality
Yeah,
is.
this is actually trash water sloshing in the bottom of a trash can.
Normally it's like a bourbon mixed with some sort of
Yeah.
fruity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was just a mixture of water.
Definitely not that fancy.
Yeah, water, espresso, coffee, milk. Yeah, it's
Various
a
trash
bunch of
Very-
leftovers.
liquids.
Yeah, how did you not
mystery liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that concludes.
I feel like you did pretty
You
good,
did
honestly.
as good as
Thanks.
anyone could ask you to do for such a bizarre challenge.
Yeah.
Great job, Keri.
Thank you. I feel like sometimes motherhood, you have to like dive deep into the unknown and it just prepares you for whatever life brings. So my success was proportionately like because of my children.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
yeah.
children.
Yeah, when we send you the plaque for it,
Yeah.
we'll get 2 made for them as well.
Perfect. Thank you for preparing me for the bizarre
Absolutely.
and unknown.
God, You're so good at coming up with these little challenges things. Like
I do love doing. I always I tried to get Art to do this one for a while, but he's just like, I don't know about it.
Wait, are you talking about the one where you just want to like shave my head and beard?
No. That one was definitely a joke. This one,
okay.
I was like, I kept bringing it up, and I was like, I just like, we can like have someone like chewing a peanut butter jelly sandwich, or, like crunching a bug, and he was always like turning it down. I was like, there's no way they could get that. And I'm like, but it'd be so funny.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things that I'm learning with this whole process. Like, I'm learning, this is going to sound bad, but I'm learning to, like, not trust my intuition as much as I want to. Like, when something registers to me immediately as like, oh, that's not going to work, then I have to be like, wait a second. Like, Isabella clearly has really good ideas. I need to shut up. I need to take a step back. I need to run with it.
Yeah.
And every single time that you come up with some of these challenges, like, they always end up super fun. I always love them in the end. So it's just like the initial anxiety is just like, how are we gonna make this work? I don't get it.
Oh.
Yeah. They're gonna think we're weird. We're throwing water
I
in
think
the
he
trash
just comes
can.
at it from like I want this to be really wholesome and good, and just like
and we're not crazy.
Yeah, we're not
that's my
crazy
problem.
people. But I'm like, no, I'm a crazy person. Like, please.
Eclectic.
Yeah.
I have found that you got to add positive buzzwords to what could be. Like, Eiley is not stubborn. She's spirited. You are not crazy. You are eclectic.
Yes.
See, there's like positive ways of like, hey, like,
like
this is
isn't
me,
bad.
But this is like positive. Like, this is
I
good.
like that.
Yeah, it's all how you like. You gotta like twist it.
Yeah, you should be a life coach.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Like,
I'm serious.
You should be a parenting coach for sure.
Or
I don't know
I
if
would
that's
like
a
to
thing.
learn from you. Like, I want to know what you're doing. Like,
Yeah. If I have a child, can I like give it to you for like 6 years and then give it back? Because I just want them to be like, you know,
I mean,
properly
they did
parented.
used to have like wet nurses. I mean, I know that was strictly for feeding, but it's kind of like the same philosophy, right? You get them past like a critical time period and then you just like hand it back and be like,
Exactly.
child, this is your real parent.
they're
Have
not
fun
as
with
good
it.
as me, clearly.
Yeah. And I'll just be like, well, you looked very
Well.
stressful. So I was going to put it off for a bit. So, wow.
I'm telling you, I can't wait to tell them goodbye.
Really?
Yes. No, not in the fact that I like want to like wish away them growing up. But as my kids are getting older and my husband and I are gaining a little bit more like freedom, just to be able to like do things now, having older children and not like an infant whose needs are all encompassing, coming into a marriage where you're already a parent and you're an instant blended family, there's this whole like time that a lot of people do have when they first get married to be able to enjoy their spouse and to be able to enjoy experiences together that we never got on the front end. So like, I'm so excited on the back end to be like, see ya kids, like that's
It's
your
our
next
time
step. This is our time. When our children leave, I will be 43 and he will be 45. And like, I think like when you're young, you have this like mindset that, oh my gosh, like your 40s, like your 50s, like that's so old. Like, oh my goodness, you know, like from the vantage point of like entering into my 30s and like from this parenting vantage point and just seeing those next 10 years, it's like, oh my gosh, like we're going to be so young. Like we can do this and we can go do that and we can travel and we can this and we can that. And like 40 is the new 20. Like it's not old, you know, like, so we're going to still be in the prime of our life.
Absolutely. You know, this is funny. This is something that I've kind of been thinking a little bit about in my own spare time. Is just thinking about how so many of my priorities have changed in even just the past 3 or 4 years. You know, like I came from a background of, at one point, like my biggest focal point in life was competitive video gaming, and that was all that I cared about.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would travel around the country playing these video games and stuff. And now, if I were to like transport myself at 25 to where I was when I was 21, it would be a nightmare. Like I've got way too many things that I need to do. I can't stay up way late into the night playing video games. I've got to wake up early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think 21-year-old me would look at where I'm at now and be like, oh my God, he's so old. Look at him. He's trying to go to bed at 9:30. What is his problem?
He's so responsible.
Yeah. But that's what's exciting to me now is changing the priorities for the tasks at hand. And I like what you're saying about, you know, keeping that spirit as you get older.
Absolutely.
And older, because, you know, we associate getting older with, you know, slowing down, doing less, and, you know, just kind of being less interesting. But it absolutely does not have to be that. And it's all about just taking those proactive steps to being what you want to be every step of the way of your life.
I loved entering into my 30s. I think the 20s are such a time of figuring out like who you are and what you want to do and just your aim on everything.
I do think that we're going to have to start wrapping this up. I'm going to start calling it a day. Mm-hmm. And like I've mentioned to you before, what we like to do around this time is we like to take a step back. We like to give you the floor, give you the microphone. And Keri, could you leave your piece to the world for us?
Oh, goodness. I will try.
If you want to take a second, gather your thoughts, go right ahead. I'll cut all this little bit out.
All right. I don't know if I have anything like super profound.
For what it's worth, you've dropped a lot of really cool insight throughout the entire thing.
I'm like, I can't wait to get home and like journal, like
Well,
take notes.
You've also managed to convince Isabella to have a child, so
I know.
So be careful with your words, because I don't need any life-changing revelations right now. Please, I just got to where I'm really happy.
Art also decides to have a child.
Yeah,
he just has to find a spouse.
I gotta find. It's like, oh God, is anyone looking for? Yeah, does anyone need a dad figure?
Yeah, a husband and a father. Like,
yeah. Taking applications, we can make you like the local Bachelor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
take applications.
This is a new podcast. We create this.
Yeah, we set you up on wholesome dates with wholesome ladies who have like really great values, and it's like
there's so many singles in the area.
Okay, so let's get back to focusing on.
Can this part be included in the podcast?
I begrudgingly might leave this little in. I don't know. We'll see what's up.
Art is single, and he wants a woman.
Art is single, and he's ready to mingle.
Yikes. I didn't think we were talking about this today. This is a you.
Are you an attractive woman with values and convictions? I've got a man for you, and he'd like to be a father.
So
women with children are plus.
Leaving your piece there, Keri.
Leaving my piece. I just feel like, I guess if I had one piece of advice, it would be that to leave like no moment wasted, or life is too short to be casual, and the relationships that you build, or the love or the kindness that you give other people, because our lives aren't guaranteed to be long. They're not guaranteed to be easy. They're not guaranteed. There's no guarantee of anything. And so I feel like when you really break it down to a human experience and a human perspective, life's too short not to smile at your barista. Life's too short not to have a genuine interaction with your kid. Life's too short to get like caught up in dumb things that don't matter. And I think we have a responsibility, to one another to just be kind and to leave no moment wasted, to leave every interaction and every environment and every place we come to better than what we've left it. I guess that's it.
My heart. Oh, you hit me right in the heart there. Keri, this has been absolutely wonderful interview. Thank you so much for your time. You're amazing. Keri, where can we find more from you and what you have going on?
I'm super low key, but I do have an Instagram, and you can find me at Cochran.Keri. That's COCHRAN.Keri, Keri. I also have a Facebook, Keri H. Cochran. And like I said, I'm super low key. Pictures of the kids, picture of the dog, and soon to be pictures of our new home and farm life and all the adventures that I have upcoming.
Absolutely. And probably a new podcast with Isabella about the Southern Indiana Bachelor.
Yes.
We'll let you know when that gets off the ground.
Bachelor.
So, also, Isabella, where can we find more with the Brightside podcast and Coffee Crossing?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at coffee_crossing, which Carrie actually a couple months back was featured with her puppy as a Pupstomer of the Day. So you can see that cutie. And then you can also find us on Facebook, just Coffee Crossing.
And coffeecrossing.com for the official Coffee Crossing website. With that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. Keri, once again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And we hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Toodles.